Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the AccuWeather Network, here on AccuWeather Weekend. I'm meteorologist Bree Guy, and your eye may go to the center of the country. That's where we have so much of our action right now through this upper level low that's continuing to spin and moving on east. Now, again, this wave of energy is going to continue to move into the southeast. It's going to meet up with this instability that's still churning here in the Gulf of Mexico. That's where we have that area of low pressure, too, that's going to be shooting on north, and that's going to be bringing us the threat for severe weather, not just throughout the afternoon, but also the overnight hours. And tornadoes are also in the picture. So let's break down the threat of nocturnal tornadoes. Very few things here on this earth as scary as a huge tornado coming at you at night where you can barely see it. So again, have a way to receive those severe weather alerts. Have those alerts turned on high, especially as we head into tonight, because severe weather is still going to be possible here, especially along the state of Florida. Now, here's overall your flavor of the day, your stormy snapshot here. We are still tracking that rain, like I said, pushing in from the west, but then we have this area of low pressure that's still churning right here in the Gulf. Now, it has its eyes set on Florida, and that's going to be spreading some drenching rain and unfortunately putting a damper on any outdoor plans. Maybe you're heading out to the game Miami of Ohio versus Appalachian State. This is going to be taking place in Orlando, Florida. We do have thunderstorms that could disrupt the game there pre-game into the first quarter, and we're still talking about rain even throughout the game. Temperatures hovering in the 60s. Now, the threats that we're concerned about Saturday afternoon into the overnight hours are going to extend from central to Florida to southern Florida, and on the board we have wind, flooding, and tornadoes as a medium risk. So that's where we have upped the ante. And if we take a snapshot of what we're concerned about here as we head throughout the afternoon into the nighttime hours, well, again, it's going to extend across central and southern Florida. Big cities included in this orange shaded area where we do have that moderate risk. That means numerous severe storms from Orlando to Tampa, Cape Coral, Miami. Tornadoes and intense rainfall are going to be our big concerns, but also those winds. We cannot rule those out. I mean, we're going to be gusting between 50 to 60 miles per hour with your AccuWeather local storm max as high as 75 miles per hour. And with that, too, we are going to have trouble at the coast, especially there along the Gulf Coast there as we head throughout the start of our Saturday. And then as that storm continues to track on north, it's going to be bringing problems there along the eastern seaboard as well. Strong surf and rip currents are going to be a big concern. Beach erosion and coastal flooding at times of high tide with hazarding boating conditions. Now, the severe weather threat doesn't stop here. It's also going to extend into tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist John Porter has more. And as we are talking about how much rain we're going to get to as well, well, hey, we have this dark green bullseye here that extends from South Carolina down through southeastern Georgia through northern Florida. How much rain are we talking about there? Well, in that darkest green blob, you're going to see 4 to 8 inches of rain. That's a lot of rain falling in a relatively short amount of time. So, of course, flooding is going to be a top concern with your AccuWeather local storm max as high as 10 inches. Now, you'll note the green doesn't stop here across the southeast. That's because the storm doesn't either. It's going to continue to track on north, spreading rain 2 to 4 inches, very similar to what we were seeing just last weekend there from the mid-Atlantic up the eastern seaboard. And while John Porter was talking about that threat for severe weather there along the coast, we cannot rule out that threat for severe weather also across southern Florida. Again, we cannot rule out isolated tornadoes and intense rainfall. And as we continue to watch this storm track east, well, that's going to be bringing problems to the game as well.